We've been in the Cambridge community for about 45 years, and it's wonderful that we're able to provide services for families in their own community. Over the last year, we've seen approximately 1,700 children and youth, and they have benefited from services such as autism, speech-language pathology, social work services, therapeutic rec programs, physiotherapy, and occupational therapy. So a lot of children come through our doors, and often they will have difficulties with dressing, with eating, with maybe tying shoelaces or brushing their teeth. Those are the occupations of a child and youth. We call it occupational therapy because the skills focus on everyday life skills. And those are the skills that are really important for the children and the ones that they have challenges with that they need to be able to get through the day with. So today we have the opportunity to meet with Leigha, our ambassador, and her occupational therapist, Carolyn Conyard, along with mom, Tara. And you're going to get to see a little bit of what happens in occupational therapy sessions and what occupational therapy has meant and has done to help to build Leigha's potential.
We started bringing Leigha to KidsAbility when she was about 1.5 years old. She was quite small. We had seen our family doctor for her 18-month checkup, something around there. And yeah, I had noticed a couple of her physical behaviors that I thought, I'm not quite sure they're natural for her development. And so, yeah, the doctor assessed her and noticed that she had quite the weakened torso. So if she was sitting up playing with toys and she would topple back, she would make little to no effort to get herself back up again. Same thing if I put her down for her nap and then we'd go to wake her, or she would wake up, she'd just be laying there. She would make little to no effort to roll over, to pull herself up at the edge of the crib. And then when she began crawling, she would clench her fists as she crawled, and she would move like this. And at first we thought it was a bit of a quirk. We weren't really sure we should have it checked out. Until again, we saw the family doctor, and she referred us to a pediatrician. At the time, the pediatrician then noticed some weakness in her weight distribution, the weakened torso muscles, and this clenched fist. He advised us to contact KidsAbility. And it was at that point that we were welcomed with open arms by the team, and they assessed her, and the pediatrician had diagnosed her with mild stable cerebral palsy. And at that point, we began our treatment at KidsAbility. So at first, it was interesting because my husband was in denial. He wasn't really sure that this was something that we needed to pursue at this level. Interestingly enough, she walked into the session very much to the team's amazement. With a diagnosis of something like cerebral palsy, you don't really know what to expect. Their condition, their symptoms can vary greatly depending on the child. And yeah, so she walked in, and the team really reassured us. Carolyn was one of our therapists at the time. And yeah, so Carolyn and our physiotherapist, our speech therapist, and a social worker, they were very quick to hear our story and all of Leigha's experiences and what her challenges were. And really, without any doubt and without any hesitation, they immediately said, great, we're going to start to work with her, assess her, and start putting her on a development plan so that she can achieve her goals. With physiotherapy, the goal was to strengthen the one side that was notably weaker. And through those sessions, we did a lot of balancing activities, climbing stairs, stretches, those sorts of activities into physical, just to, again, strengthen her gross motor skills. And then we spent a good portion of our first year, I would say year to year and a half, working with Carolyn and her occupational therapy. Examples would have been, as you can see here, when she was using her pincer grasp. We spent a lot of time focusing on Peter Pointer and having her isolate those fingers. Her speech has come leaps and bounds. Probably around 2.5, we noticed a delay in her vocabulary development. And as well, we noticed there wasn't a lot of clarity in the words that she was using. So an example would be, we would ask her, would you like juice or milk? And she would respond with blupped both Michael and I were very puzzled. We couldn't decipher really what that word meant. We found too that many of her family members, her siblings, neighbors, they were finding her very difficult to understand. And that was about 2.5, and then we started in group speech therapy, at which point all of the speech therapist team assessed her again and felt, yep, she is eligible to do individual. As soon as she started that individual therapy, she soared. And the vocabulary blossomed, the clarity started to really come to light. And now we can't get her to stop talking. Everyone understands her without hesitation, without looking at me with questions of, I'm not really sure what she's saying. So between speech and occupational therapy, especially those two, her confidence has grown leaps and bounds, which I think has also helped her to flourish with both her speech and her fine motor skills. I think really we would feel very lost had we not been a part of KidsAbility at such an early point in her development. Early intervention has just been so instrumental, I think, in her growth. And having her, reach the point that she's at right now. She'll be ready for school in September, and I don't think, looking back, I don't feel that we would have had all of the skills and the tools as parents to know. I think we're too close to it to see the wood for the trees, right? And again, after coming out of that sort of phase of being in denial and not really accepting or really unsure of what we were working with or what we were faced with, the team at KidsAbility has brought us that much clarity and that knowledge and that education so that we can support her even further than what KidsAbility has started us with. KidsAbility has given us that foundation that we can then take and help her to take those steps, even further. KidsAbility is our home away from home. It is never ever a struggle to get this little one to come. We talk about everyone here as our friends at KidsAbility. It has a warm and welcoming atmosphere. It doesn't feel, a lot of people I think associate therapy in a clinical context. And so they might expect to come to a therapy session and it feel very like a medical center or very clinical, but that's not the case at all. It's the absolute opposite. It is warm, it is welcoming, it's like a second home, a second family. We absolutely love coming, and I don't think enough people know from seeing on the outside walls really how warm and encouraging and welcoming it is on the inside. There you go, now show us the trick. Woohoo! Way to go! Way to go!
Here at the Cambridge Hub, we are very lucky to have KidsAbility School, and I'd like to introduce you to Kelly Lantic, the principal.
Thanks, Paula. KidsAbility School provides a half-day first-year kindergarten program to students here in Cambridge at the Cambridge School and at our school in Waterloo. Guided by the kindergarten program, our teachers and our educational assistants work collaboratively with our families and with our school occupational therapists, physiotherapists, and speech and language pathologists to create individual goals for each child. Throughout the day, children work on their goals every day through the purposeful and planned and really fun activities that our educators plan in our outdoor learning center, in our gym time, during snack time, during circle time, and during learning center time each day at school. We work on all of those things that are critical to kindergarten success: the social skills, the self-help skills, independence, self-regulation, and communication, as well as, of course, the literacy and numeracy skills that we're working on. All those kindergarten kinds of skills. It really is a team approach here. Our education team and our therapist team work collaboratively with our families, with our community agencies, and with the community schools where many of our children attend the other half day when they're not with us, really looking at building success throughout the first year of kindergarten for our students and for their families. We have music therapy in Waterloo and in Cambridge once a week. We use the therapy pool at KidsAbility Centre in Waterloo for our Waterloo School. Really, there's so much going on building success throughout the year. Also critical to our team is that involvement and the dedication of the multitude of volunteers that we have with us from our community and also from our students who are in placement with us through our high schools, through our colleges and universities.
Together, brighter futures happen here.